Today we're going to be talking about database design for building a forum for GoRails.com. So if we think about database for a forum, we can pick out about three things. And those three things are users, forum threads, and forum posts. So the users, of course, are the people posting content and starting conversations on the site. Those forum threads are the conversations, and the posts inside of them are the individual people talking. So let's dive into users. Now the users, we're going to use Devise for authentication. We want to use Devise so that we can save a lot of time, and we trust Devise will do a good job with handling password hashing and authentication. So if we take a look at what our database table should look like, we're going to need a first name and a last name for all of our users, and an email address and a password. So Devise is going to handle a lot of the email address and password authentication for us. We will probably go in at some point and make modifications to Devise and customize it, but all in all, we want to use and trust Devise to do a good job of authenticating for us, because we don't want to have to build that out on our own. The next thing is, of course, the forum threads. So these are the individual conversations that people are having on the forum, and each of those are going to have a user ID, so we'll know who created the forum thread, who started the conversation, and then we're going to know, we're going to need to record a subject so that we know what the conversation is about. So this is basically the topic that the conversation is going on in the forum thread. So then inside of those conversations, we have individual posts. Those forum posts are very simple. They record the user who made the post, and then they also record the forum thread ID so that we know which conversation the post belongs in, and the body of the message. So this is just going to be text, and it will eventually we're going to integrate Markdown so that we will parse that, and you'll be able to add bold and headers and formatting and all those things that you get using Markdown. But we'll go into more of that later. Let's take a step back and look at our database from a higher level. I'm going to use a little bit of pseudocode from Rails here, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at the users. So user, like we said before, they can create many threads, so we will have a has-many relationship between users and forum threads there. Same with posts. Users can post more than one time on the forum, and that means that we need a has-many relationship there as well. The forum thread is owned by a user, which is why we have a belongs to, and has many forum posts because there can be many people talking in a single conversation. Forum posts are owned by a user, and they're also owned by a forum thread, so we'll know who created it as well as which conversation it goes into. And I can draw a little bit of arrows here. The belongs to, they point to the owner of the relationship there. So a user can have many, and that means that forum threads and forum posts will have the same user ID on all the ones owned by that user. And that's all for today, and we will pick up next by starting to build these databases in Rails by generating the models and integrating Devise into our application.